I know this podcast is taking on an interesting, okay, maybe not so interesting. It's taking on a unique launch. And I mentioned before that primarily it's one so that I just start doing it, which I had read and I had learned with my other podcast that that's the best way to start is just start doing it. So I decided to start doing it on this trip, and yes, I'm still in a hotel room in Santa Fe, New Mexico. But I also think that I wanted to do this podcast and take the pressure off me and just do it and let it naturally, organically, whatever the term is, flow and become what it's going to be. It's a podcast I want to do. And I mentioned that before. This is my podcast. Absolutely. Now, I definitely want your input, and I want to talk about things you want to talk about and all that sort of stuff, but I want to be free here to talk about things that I'd like to talk about, that I think are things that are related to life and anxiety and us getting through this crazy freaking journey that we're all on. It is so weird and bizarre and meaningless and meaningful and long and short and good and bad. It's just crazy. And I know I'm not the only person who's having trouble at times figuring it out. What's the meaning of life? Why are we here? Why are we doing all this? What's after this? Is there an after this? How should I be spending my time? What should I do? Wouldn't it be interesting if there was like maybe a TV show or series where there was somebody who actually knew exactly what you were supposed to be. Now that's based off the assumption that there's one job for us, or that maybe fate's at play or God's at play or something, but forget the reasons of it. I don't think I'm the only person who has thought about what I'm supposed to do and been wondering. I've been extremely nomadic. I've gone from job to job to job. Some I've taken a little longer than others, but I've had several jobs in my life because I was trying to find the one. Maybe there isn't the one, and I realize that. But if there is that job that you are perfectly suited for, genetically, environmentally, from all your training and experiences, that you're perfectly suited for, wouldn't it be nice if you could just go talk to somebody and they would tell you? That's probably too simple, and that takes away all the fun of life. But I still think that would be an interesting thing, to find out what I'm supposed to be, because I still don't know. I found a lot of things. I think I love doing this podcast. It's something that I like to talk. I definitely enjoyed being a teacher. I've been a teacher in many different scenarios throughout my life, and I've always loved that. I love teaching. And maybe that's probably why I like this podcast, is I love teaching. Because it's part teaching. I mean, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's part teaching, so. But I think it would be fascinating to know, and then, and maybe the journey wasn't meant to be that way, but, if all this time I found out that I was supposed to be a podcaster, and of course when I got out of college there was no such thing, but like a broadcaster or something at that time, it would have been nice to know. Or should I have stuck with music? I was a drummer for years, and should I have stayed with being a drummer? I seemed to be, that was going pretty well for me, and I was getting opportunities, but I switched gears and I went a different direction. Should I have stayed with that? I think a lot of us beat ourselves up for missed opportunities or taken opportunities that we shouldn't have taken. I know I do sometimes, and I shouldn't, because life is about this journey, and it's okay that, we didn't, maybe the path was twisted and all over the map and confusing for us to get to where we are now. And maybe it's never too late to change things. I mean, I'm changing things. I still haven't figured out how to, make a living doing it. But I'm going to get there. But I do think there's something that each one of us is good at, not just something, but some type of jobs that we're better at, that we're happier at, that provides more meaning and joy to our lives. And I think for a lot of us, for many people, they never find that. And it seems like such a wasted life. Maybe it's not. Maybe the journey looking for it is what it's supposed to be about. But it just seems like there should be a way to know. I mean, there's tests out there and stuff, and you can go to guidance counselors, and I think they can provide some guidance for you. But in the end, you may never know. And if everybody had that of what you're perfectly suited for, it'd be interesting to find out, is it evenly distributed, or are there a lot of jobs that nobody was really suited for? I wouldn't be surprised if there's some of those. And then what do you do? There's some jobs that just need to be done. I would not do well in a coal mine. I can tell you that right now. My anxiety, claustrophobia, all that stuff would not go well in a coal mine. But for some, it seems to be something they could do, and I appreciate them for that. I don't know. Something else to think about, something else to ponder. But I do think not knowing is an anxiety instigator. It is for me, and I've seen that with other people too. And so I just thought I'd bring it up because I think that search that we all have at different times in our lives, whether it's early on, before school, college, later on, whatever, I keep switching and keep finding new things, is hard, especially when you struggle with anxiety and fear of the unknown. And for some people, they're so afraid of change. And I have people in my life that are like that, that are so fearful of change. They've been in the same job for years, even though they've hated their job. It'd be nice if we could help out some of those people. Anyway, just a thing to think about. Where are you at in your life? Are you where you want to be? Do you want to maybe just investigate if it's the right place for you to be? Maybe reach out and try something new if you're just stuck. Maybe get a little help and talk to somebody. I think there's some answers in here somewhere, and I hope together, as we work together, we can find some. So good luck out there. Talk to you soon. Hey, this is Dee. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out our podcast. I do need to remind everyone that this podcast is for informational purposes only and should never be considered medical, psychological, or professional health advice of any kind. If you or someone you know is dealing with significant mental health issues, please seek professional help. Resources can be found in our show notes and on our website at unevenpodcast.com. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on the flip side.